Good afternoon to you. I'm Eric Chilton here with Stacy Spivey, Lauren Coleman, and Monique Robinson.
Yeah, welcome to everyone watching the 4 to 5 right here on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app for your TV, phone, or tablet.
We want to go ahead and get right to our top story for the afternoon. A 17-year-old boy was shot earlier today in Greensboro.
This happened just before 11 a.m. in the 4800 block of Chapel Ridge Drive. Police say the boy is expected to be okay. We know this incident happened at a bus stop while a group of kids were waiting for the bus, and that the teen was shot in the thigh. Police have not shared any suspect information at this time. A neighbor close by and his brother heard the shots and went to check out the situation. We spoke with them about what they had to do to help until paramedics arrived.
My brother, he was already in this truck. I know he always has first aid equipment in there, so I came running back to him, and he came up there, and then I just took his clothes off his lower torso, and my brother applied the tourniquet, and just tried to as best we could to help him out.
If you have any information, you can submit it anonymously to Crime Stoppers by calling 336-373-1000.
Winston-Salem police said a tractor-trailer driver is dead after a crash on Highway 52 this afternoon. The tractor-trailer crashed in the northbound lanes at Haynes Mill Road. This is according to a release. The truck was the only vehicle involved. Highway 52 is blocked at University Parkway. Traffic is being diverted onto University Parkway. Police say this delay could last for several hours. Investigators have not shared what caused the crash.
Families who were displaced because of the Winston Weaver plant fire can now get reimbursed. The Weaver Fertilizer Company shared the funds to the Love Out Loud Winston-Salem group to help residents who were within the 1-mile radius for evacuations. Residents will need to show proof of residency and hotel receipts, according to an email from the city. Evacuees can call 336-747-3067 for more information. Tomorrow, leaders are expected to provide an update on the fire and recovery efforts. All that hard work from the fire department was given some much needed recognition at last night's city council meeting. City leaders read a proclamation for their hard efforts, not only for battling the fire, but also for the cleanup. Mayor Alan Joines focused on the staff and their bravery.
There's an old saying that says a brave person is not the one who doesn't feel afraid, but the one who conquers that fear. And clearly our firefighters conquered that fear, and for that our community is forever grateful.
The Winston Weaver plant contained nearly 3 times the amount of fertilizer-making chemicals compared to the West Texas fertilizer plant, which killed 15 and injured dozens more when it exploded back in 2013.
New at 4, several Guilford County Schools parents raised concerns after GCS announced a 2-hour delay for school this morning. GCS stated on its website potentially hazard road conditions in the morning, including the potential for black ice, was the reason for the 2-hour delay. Yesterday, the district operated on a normal schedule with freezing rain in the forecast. Hundreds of parents took to the school district's Facebook page about the decision to delay school today and not yesterday. Parents we spoke to say they were confused by the district's decision.
It's not even raining or doing anything right now, and it wasn't forecasted to do anything. So it was very confusing. It almost felt like it was a makeup for missing it on Monday to implementing it on Tuesday.
If anything, caution should have been taken yesterday, especially, after reports of the bus sliding off of the road, which is extremely scary, especially for parents. So I feel like they probably took that caution today because of what happened yesterday.
We reached out to Guilford County Schools to ask how the district decides when to implement a 2-hour delay. The district sent us the following statement from Executive Director of Emergency Management, Mike Ritchie. Our primary weather information and consulting comes from the Raleigh office of the National Weather Service. We review their briefings multiple times in the evening and during the morning as we make weather decisions. We also check with our local and state government and public safety partners. Our teams drive areas across the county where we tend to see the most ice and evaluate the actual road conditions. On the district's website, GCS lists how it makes inclement weather decisions, who assists the district in making inclement weather decisions, and when the district holds school remotely when weather is uncertain. The district's website goes on to say, unfortunately, the nature of predicting the exact impact of the weather in advance is uncertain. There is no perfect call, and we are always learning to make the very best decisions to protect student safety, as well as maximizing instructional time when it is safe to proceed with school. Now, we also reached out to Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, the second largest school district in our area. It also had a 2-hour delay this morning after operating on a normal schedule yesterday. The district sent us a statement saying it must make a decision by 5 a.m. and that Monday morning's moisture came in much earlier than any of the national, state, or local forecasts it uses. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools also said Monday's moisture came in after its transportation system started running. For more information on both school districts' inclement weather plans, just look for the story on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
It's been a month since Guilford County Schools partnered with public transportation to deal with the bus driver shortage, and it looks like it will continue. The Greensboro Transit Agency says ridership among the high school students is up with no end in sight. The city of Greensboro reports 120 students rode public transit on the first day of the partnership back on January 10th. At last check, it was 238 students. The all-time high over the past few weeks was 310.
Parents, you need to know there is $193 billion that you can dip into, and all you need to do is file your taxes. The Biden administration says that's how much is left over from the expanded child tax credit. Vice President Kamala Harris explains why filing matters.
You still need to file your taxes. So that is the only way to receive the second half of what you are owed. So remember, you are owed more, but you still need to file your taxes.
The deadline to file is April 18th.
Alrighty then, so earlier today a lot of folks saw fog waking up, especially as we look to this shot at Truist Field in Winston-Salem. You can see those skies continue to clear as we went throughout the course of the day, and the fog was no longer a concern as we approached the afternoon, and then skies continue to clear as of now. This is that cloud cover now well to the east of us, giving way to some sunshine to end out your Tuesday across the area. I believe it's going to be a nice sunset. We haven't seen one of those in quite a while with the rain and the mist. We haven't been able to really get to see the sun much, but today that's not so much the story. 51 was the temperature currently in Greensboro, 53 there in Winston-Salem, a little bit cooler down in Asheboro, sitting at 49. Now the winds have been fairly breezy at times, 10 miles per hour out of the north and west in Greensboro. Currently you can see just roughly around that same range in Winston-Salem, but as we continue through the next 12 hours, we could see some off and on breezy conditions, but for the most part, the big story here is how the temperatures will continue to get colder as we go into the start of your Wednesday. Once again, we're going to be dropping down to below freezing temperatures to start out your early Wednesday morning. Now, no rain chances in the forecast. The concern of black ice obviously not there because moisture is all gone and done with. But again, it will be a very cold night. Be certain to bundle up. And this weekend, we're going to really need to do it once again as temperatures take a tumble.
Hey, Lulu. All right, I am talking about vulnerability. How to be vulnerable and why we do it.
Welcome back. Vulnerable is a word we either love or hate. We're either comfortable being vulnerable with people or we're not. But vulnerability can strengthen relationships with others. Blanca Cobb, who has a master's degree in psychology, joins us to discuss how we can change our feelings towards vulnerability and be more open to being vulnerable with people we care about. So Blanca, let's go ahead and start with what it means to be vulnerable.
When you're vulnerable, you're sharing secrets. You're sharing private parts of your life that don't make you comfortable talking about or sharing with other people. They're things that you would rather stay buried. A lot of times it's because you're embarrassed or you're humiliated or you can't believe you've had certain experiences and you're not sure how someone is going to receive that information. Because once you tell somebody, it's not like you can take it back, and that makes it very scary for people.
And Blanca, you said that we can know if we share those vulnerable parts with ourselves with someone. So how do we know if we can?
That's a great question. And listen to the person who you want to tell. And what I mean is listen to stories that they tell you about other people. When they find out information about others, are they compassionate? Or do they make fun of that person? Do they call them an idiot and go, well, no wonder that happened to you? When you listen to how somebody responds to other people's situation, it gives you a sense of how they probably are going to respond to you. So, but if they're compassionate and you feel very comfortable, then you know that they're more willing to listen. And, or if you start telling them, what if they shut you down or they change the conversation, then you know they're not receptive to your vulnerability.
As far as body language goes, how does someone's body language speak on their vulnerability?
Fantastic question, Stacy. And so what happens with vulnerability and body language is this. When someone is sharing information that is very difficult for them, what happens is they start covering up and they don't realize it. They'll start pulling their arms and their legs more towards their core. They might cover their neck or this neck notch, might cross their arms, all in an effort to provide comfort. Many times they don't even realize that they're doing it. When you notice these types of body language gestures and someone is having a vulnerable moment with you, this is a great time for you to show empathy and be very compassionate, and you offer them support because they're going to know that it's okay and that you want to receive what they're saying. Or you can also say, you can flip it and say, I'm getting the sense that this might be a little touchy for you right now. Please don't feel like you have to continue. It's okay. And you give them that option. And it's amazing when you show empathy and compassion for somebody else, what really happens to the friendship and the relationship.
Blanca, thank you so much. If you'd like to learn more about vulnerability, find the story on our website, WFMYnews2.com. I think that's something that we're all very vulnerable with each other. And I like that we get to have open conversations. So we're not just coworkers, but we're also friends.
I think it is the key. It's one of the foundations of a really straight relationship, right? Like a good, solid foundation, because if you're willing to open up and let some of that out, then, and in like a give and take, you always do a little bit and you see if they do it back, you go back and forth, and then finally it builds on itself. I think it's the key to a good relationship.
And just creating a space for someone to feel like they can share certain things with you too. And some people, they really aren't that sensitive or that emotional. So I felt what she was saying about being empathetic, like empathizing with people and just being open to, you know, this person might be going through something. Let me just be there for them.
And I love that she said it's okay to say, hey, you don't have to talk about this right now if you don't want to, but if you need me, I'm here. You know, that's a big deal.
And I like what you mentioned just then, like you never know what people are going through. And also people share their emotions in different ways. I am a crier. I cry about literally everything, but I appreciate the people in my life that accept that about me and know that sometimes I just need to cry it out.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like a workout. You have to get it out. You know,
And you feel
sometimes.
so much better afterwards. You just feel that huge release. So if I see someone crying, I'm just gonna let them have their moment, but just know that I'm here if you need me.
Yeah,
so.
Very good. Very solid stuff there. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. To celebrate Black History Month, the Renolda House Museum for American Art has something really special going on right now. It's a photography exhibit that gets you up close and personal with photos of everyone from Miles Davis to the Jackson 5. It's a cool exhibit here. I spoke with Community Engagement Director Owens Daniels about the Black is Beautiful exhibit. Owens, this is incredible. I mean, his body of work is just amazing. Can you tell us a little bit, just generically, what is this exhibit all about?
Kwame Bradwaite's work is about Black is Beautiful, the concept, the ideal that he took photography as a tool as well as an artist and an activist, being moved by Emmett Till's death, as well as the Black experience within his culture in Harlem. He brought those things together to bring out those things through photography, what's beautiful about our culture, what's beautiful about our people, what's beautiful about us as human beings. That is what Black is Beautiful is about.
And I love the fact that, you know, he followed a lot of famous people around. Like, who are some of those that we'll see if we go to this exhibit?
Some of the great and famous people you will see, of course, is Miles Davis. You'll see Paul Chambers. You'll see Mack Roach. You'll see Abbey Lincoln. He also photographed people such as Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Muhammad Ali. So he covered a wide range of celebrities and people throughout his period of time.
What do you think, when people go through this, what's the message, and also what do you want them to walk away with?
When people come into the museum, what I want them to feel is though they were there. You ever been to a place and sometimes you get that impression that I've been there before? or you become very familiar with the place and you become very comfortable. His work is very intimate, it's very comfortable, and it's almost like walking back in a place of time. And it really doesn't matter whether you're black or you're white or whatever it is. You get that feeling of home, that I know these people, or I know these celebrities, or I've been to this place before. And I want people to walk out of that feeling with a really, really, really good feeling, and I've had a good experience. I've seen some wonderful art. I've met some people that I may not have met before, and I've seen some people that I've heard of before. But that whole experience of I've been there before, and I really like that, and I will come back again. That's what I want them to come in, and that's what I would want them to leave with.
Owens, this is wonderful stuff, man. Thank you so much for talking about this with us.
I really appreciate you. Great day.
So one of the things I want to emphasize, so some of the pictures are, of well-known Black Americans from that time period, a lot of 1960s and 70s. But one of the things that he does in this that we didn't get a chance to see a lot of, you saw some mannequins with, but it's fashion. So they talked a little bit about how fashion with white people in the 60s would have an effect on women of color in that time period.
Oh,
so it's a
wow.
really interesting, almost like a dichotomy of two different worlds, trying to figure out where that fashion line is going to be. It was really interesting.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
interesting to know. I think photography is so powerful in how it captures moments in history, because photos, they stand the test of time. So I'm glad that this photographer was able to take all these pictures throughout his life journey with all
Yeah.
the different people you said in music or people in activism. It really stands time to teach us here today, what happened before us.
And real quick, before we say something else, I just wanted to mention that these photos, they're not like staged photos.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? They're intimate, behind the scenes shots of some of these performers too. Really neat.
I loved how some of them were in black and white as well, because we oftentimes pictures tell 1,000 words, but when you're in a museum like that, you can kind of create that story in your mind when you're looking at a black and white image, because then you don't have the color there. So you're really just creating that feeling of what did it feel like in that moment. You have to sit there, soak that in as you continue to stare at that photo, whether it's someone performing, as he mentioned, a lot of those folks doing. What was that environment like? And I liked how you mentioned the fashion, because fashion is such a thing when it comes to African Americans, where we kind of walk. Our fashion is kind of also telling a story. So a lot of those vibrant colors we were seeing goes back into the African American diaspora, where that really resonates for a lot of people, where they're walking proud in their colors and they want to be seen, but not loud, but seen because what they're wearing with their fashion.
Yeah, those pictures, the profile pictures of just the women, I don't know if y'all saw those, but those are my favorite when you were showing those, Eric. I mean, they were just beautiful. I feel like they were Vogue cover worthy, and the fact that they weren't staged, I mean, they were just beautiful and breathtaking and looked like they were taken today. They were beautiful.
Monique's right about a black and white photo. To me, it strips everything out of it, right? So that you look at the subject matter and not the colors.
Right,
It
right.
takes it back down to the basics, and that's what he wanted. That's why he did all the black and white photography. Really good stuff. You got to check it out. We're going over group trip.
Yeah,
right?
group trip.
All right.
Let's do it.
You can join us too. We'll be right back.
Today on U Day, Coach Lamont introduces us to author and activist James Baldwin and how his unique perspective changed the way Coach thinks about change.
Author and activist James Baldwin once said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Change is inevitable and at times a necessary pill to swallow, but it helps our lives to become current and we gain a new perspective. We must put an end to fearing the result of change and trying to convince ourselves of the lie that change is unrealistic. It's time to face the areas in life where you know that change is needed and take your life out of neutral and place it into drive. You will never know how good it can be until you find the confidence to face the thing that's been standing in your face. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Ooh, I love that. I think change is an absolutely great thing, but you have to be willing to change and you have to put in the work to want to change. I know me going into my 30th year of life, there's a lot of changes that I want to make, and I mentally had to sit and say, I need to do XYZ in order to get the results that I want.
I had to go run and grab my phone because I saw something today that I just like stuck with me and I wanted to share it with you guys. It was a little meme and it says, "Be brave enough to suck at something new."
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because people feel uncomfortable with change or fear stops them from, doing something different in it. So that's good.
You feel like you're gonna, fail at something, but you gotta be brave enough to try it.
You can't run from change because it's always going to be there, right?
Yeah.
You might as well just face it and embrace it.
Yeah, and there's a backside to everything in life, no matter what it is. So when you're talking about change, I know a lot of times people have fear along with change, but there's fear that can come with anything, but you can overcome it. But you have to tell yourself that, and you have to believe it.
Yes.
Believing.
If
That's
you
when you
believe
look
it,
in the mirror.
you can
You,
achieve.
you ever had the conversation, like literally the conversation in the mirror to yourself? I can't do that. Some people literally look in the mirror and do it. I can't do it because I start laughing every time. But I have that inner conversation. My time to do that is when I'm driving to work. Don't ask me why.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's my quiet time to think and reflect on things.
That's when I pray big
Yep, me
time
too.
on the way to work.
Yep.
Or just in the car right before you walk into the doors from work, or on the way home.
Let's
On the way press
just
for a
tell
little
the
bit.
boss that we're not praying because we're going into work. It's just the time. Yes.
Or are we?
It could be a combination. It could be all of the above.
Y'all got to learn to manage up. I'll be back.
Yo, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Good afternoon, welcome back. I'm Lauren Coleman with Stacy Spivey, Eric Chilton, and Monique Robinson. Got a little tongue-tied there.
You know, sometimes it happens.
Yes. Welcome for all of you watching us right here on WFMY News 2. Don't forget, we're on Fire Stick, Roku, and the app as well.
And we want to go ahead and get to our top story this half hour. After Pfizer filed for emergency use authorization of its vaccine in children 6 months to 5 years old, experts are hopeful the approval will come in the next month. Dr. Christopher Uhl with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist says the trials show the vaccine will protect younger children.
It's a mixed answer. So those over the age of roughly 2 to 3 did pretty well. They responded the same way that older kids do.
Because of this, Dr. Uhl says those younger kids might need an extra boost to reach the same level of immunity. He adds vaccinating children in this age group will look different because North Carolina law does not allow children under the age of 3 to be vaccinated in pharmacies.
The number of new daily cases has really gone down over the past few days. The state says it learned of just 4,600 cases in the past 24 hours. It's the smallest number on the entire right side of this graph, and it's the lowest number the state has reported since December 28th, more than a month ago. Any number as low as today's is welcome, considering the state was recording upwards of 35,000 cases in a single day just last month.
More governors nationwide are pulling back on mask mandates as COVID cases seem to fall, including in schools. The CDC's current guidelines still recommend masks for all school students, but the decision comes down to the district. New Jersey's governor said his decision does not mean the state has won against the virus. Other states, mainly on the West Coast and Northeast, have made similar decisions. A total of 15 states and Washington, D.C. have mask mandates in place for K through 12 grades. In North Carolina, the Strong Schools NC Health Toolkit encourages masks in schools. Several districts in the Triad, like Guilford County Schools, still use masks inside school buildings.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools is doing what they can to keep students in classrooms by offering COVID testing, and now employees are helping to do that. 20 school staff members received training from Novant Health educators so they could provide testing in more schools. Director of School Nurses for the district, Katie Key, said teachers were the ones that stepped up to help.
I think it was the beginning of January. We had several staff members that were in schools. Usually they were our COVID coordinators. They volunteered to be trained so that they could perform and administer these tests for the students and staff at their school. I think they, really saw a lot of kids were being sent home because they had symptoms and they were waiting days to get tests to be able to return.
The district says they have about 60 schools with someone trained in administering rapid antigen tests. Guilford County Schools was offering its own COVID testing clinics at several high schools. That program ended last week. It's unclear if the district will bring it back.
Greensboro Transit Agency is now offering free COVID testing oral swab PCR test. They're available in the meeting room at the J. Douglas Galen Depot on East Washington Street. Testing will be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Test results will be sent electronically within 3 days. You'll need a photo ID and insurance if you have it. An appointment isn't needed, but it would help you get through the process much faster.
Let's get into your 4 to 5 roundup. China has locked down one of its southern cities as Omicron surges. As of today, 135 cases have been reported in the city, at least 2 of them found to be Omicron. Classes have been suspended, non-essential businesses closed, and restaurants are only permitted to serve takeout. Traffic lights have been switched to red only to remind drivers to stay home. The city is the latest place under lockdown in keeping with China's zero-tolerance approach to the pandemic. The Justice Department says they may allow safe injection sites. These are safe havens for people to use narcotics with protections against fatal overdoses. The first authorized safe injection sites opened in New York City in November. Officials say more than 100,000 Americans have died from drug overdoses, and advocates believe these sites are a way to curb the number of overdose deaths. Locally in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools, a district contest was held to determine which teacher's classroom's library was in most need of a makeover. Teachers sent in pictures and wrote about their library needs. A third grade teacher, Nicole Grove at Gibson Elementary, won. The district donated 600 books, and it was unveiled in front of Miss Grove's students in a surprise celebration. Reese Beekman's big three-pointer led to Virginia's stunning 69-68 win over number 7 Duke last night. Beekman's three-pointer was with 1.1 seconds left in the game. It was a second-made three-pointer on 12 attempts for the Cavaliers, and 5 of Beekman's 7 points came in the last 2 minutes. A crucial time for Beekman to step up and knock off number 7 Duke. Duke will have 2 more chances this week to rebuild its resume with road games, starting at Clemson on Thursday to make up a postponed game.
Well, when you hear high pressure, that means don't worry, weather is quiet, and that's going to be the case over the next couple of days. You can see high pressure remaining in place. That cold front area of low pressure that moved through a couple of days ago, not a concern anymore. High pressure now the main story, and then there's going to be a dry cold front that kind of approaches and crosses our area and kind of makes for kind of windier conditions and allowing us to see a little bit more cloud cover at times, but not really producing much rain at all through the end of the work week. So you can see on our futurecast, completely clear skies for your Wednesday. So getting to see a lot of sunshine, and that continuing also for your Thursday. Like I said, maybe you'll get a few clouds here or there, but for the most part, you're just going to get to see sunshine. Now it will be windy. A lot of times when we have fronts move through, we'll see winds move in, and that will be something to talk about. But for the most part, it's just going to get warm and it's going to be nice outside. Let's take a look at the wind gusts. So winds calm to start out your Wednesday morning, but then as we go into the afternoon, we could get some stronger wind gusts here or there. And then again on Thursday, we're going to get these really strong winds out of the west, northwest, across the area, roughly between 15, even up to 25 miles per hour at times for Thursday afternoon. So kind of breezy conditions each afternoon, but very warm out there. Here's a look at your full 7-day forecast, including Valentine's Day. Now the weekend, there is still a chance that we could possibly see rain or even something else Sunday night going into your Monday, but I do know for sure it is going to be cold. Take a look, 62 Saturday, Sunday, 42 degrees, a 20-degree drop in temperatures.
Here's the big question of the day. How do you eat your pizza? Do you eat your pizza flat, right? Straight on with your hands? Or are you more of a fold it up, eat it like a New Yorker walking down the street? Last option, with a fork and a knife. You know, very civilized and all. No chance for grease to drip down your arm. So what are you, friends? Are you flat, folded, or forked? You're a knife and fork girl.
Only when I'm like in a certain type of restaurant or it's super hot. But once it cools down, I'll bite into it.
I was about to say,
hands.
when it's really hot, I'll start off with a fork, and then once it cools off, then I'll do it flat. But my husband does like the taco, like where he puts it together and eats
So
it.
I like to fold. Well, I eat it flat mostly, but if I use hot sauce, then I fold it in half and eat it.
If you use hot sauce,
I put hot sauce on my pizza.
You put hot sauce on everything.
He does.
People
the
at
ghost
home,
pepper
seriously,
sauce.
are you like Eric? Do you put hot sauce on your pizza? I want you to answer that in the Facebook. My husband from Ohio puts potato chips on his pizza.
Ooh, that's
And I had never
heard
heard
of
of that
that.
before. Yes, the first time we had pizza, he's like, "Where's your chips?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm sure it tastes good, but that's random.
Weird.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, I like to eat my pizza flat. And then if I'm walking in New York City, like for real, like if I'm there visiting, I like one piece during my trip, all folded up while I'm eating, kind of like, you know, Saturday Night Fever. Okay, that's an old reference,
Like you're
but
a
even
local?
still, I'm just telling you, like I'm a local. All right, I looked it up, Eataly.com, which talked about how Italians eat pizza, and most of us have been doing it wrong, except for Lauren and Stacy. First, do not hesitate, though. It says eat it hot and eat it bubbly, and you are to start at the small triangle end and use a knife and a fork. You can pick it up, the pizza only when it has been cooled and there's only a small portion left, but the website recommendation says there is never a need to fold the slice. They say a folded slice of pizza is like a calzone and should be eaten with a knife or fork. So I guess we've been told, Eric, that we're not to fold our pizza.
They do
Don't
not
fold
use
it.
hot sauce. If
They do not use hot sauce. Yes,
That's
I
what
love
makes it
Lauren.
runny.
She's like, fork, knife, fork,
I've
knife.
never used a fork and knife.
Ever?
No, not
Really?
with pizza.
Really?
No.
Like even at a restaurant?
No, I always pick it up. If you're
See,
eating
I
pizza,
do if they have like a whole lot of toppings. I'm afraid it's gonna like fall all over.
Yeah,
because
sometimes the cheese gets everywhere and it's just a mess.
deep-
so you
now
have to
deep
use the
dish?
fork
Yeah.
and the knife.
Yeah,
Deep
deep
dish
dish,
you
I
have
have to
to.
use them.
Yeah.
Right, but the
But like
slice-
regular pizza, sometimes I just even use the fork to like cut it.
Okay.
Like dig into it a little bit.
Gotcha.
You just
All
have to
right.
make sure you have ranch on it. I don't know about the
Yes.
Ooh, I do
Ranch.
like
I'm
that.
with you on the ranch.
Dip it in ranch.
Blue
It
cheese
is
or
good.
honey
too.
mustard.
What?
Honey mustard goes on everything.
Really?
So.
Honey mustard does not go
No,
on
it doesn't.
It does.
I
Ranch
do
hot
may
too.
sauce
go on
and the
everything.
honey
That's
mustard.
interesting. Also something for y'all to talk about later. All right, here's why we're talking about pizza, and we love it. Papa John's has a chance to win free pizza for a year. To enter, you have to share a post of yourself on Twitter or Instagram about how you eat a slice. Do you fold yours in half? Do you eat it flat or with the fork and the knife? People have through February 16th to enter. You got to make sure you tag them, friends.
I'm gonna have to do that. Well, today may feel like just another Tuesday, but this month there is one special Tuesday on the calendar, 2/22/2022. And we need your help celebrating Tuesday, as we're calling it, like with a number 2. Get it? WFMY News 2 is partnering with Second Harvest Food Bank to raise two things, food and fun, with a virtual fundraiser and an in-person food drive. You'll be able to donate money online or over 2 days and drop off foods over 2 hours at the Friendly Center, Harris Teeter. We also want to give back, so you can enter to win one of $220 gift cards. We can't wait to celebrate Tuesday with you. We'll be right back.
You don't want to be caught sleeping on the job, or maybe you do. Check out these high-tech beds athletes sleep in at the Olympics. Journalists inside the Beijing bubble aren't allowed into the village rooms where competitors stay, but they're welcome to try the beds athletes get to sleep in. These rest cabins can be adjusted by remote control and have a zero-gravity mode meant to reduce stress on the body. Some journalists nap in cabins, others do work in peace. I vote that we get those here at WFMY.
I'm in.
I mean,
Monique and I are voting.
I would even chip in, like be able to have a nap pod here.
I don't know about chipping in, but you know,
Nope.
if they
I'm
brought
with you,
it, I
Monique.
participate.
She said, I don't know about chipping.
I know a long time ago when you do severe weather coverage at other stations where I work, not necessarily here, but we had cots that they'd roll out. But that's
Oh, you were
Fancy.
fancy.
Yeah.
We had
But
to
that
sleep on
is-
the floor.
Or I
but
just
you
go
know
into my
what?
car and put the seat back.
Oh gosh.
those things. You don't know who's been there and how long, and no cots for me.
See, at one of my older stations, they had the morning show set, which had a big couch, and that was like the napping couch. Everyone would go and nap on that couch. I did multiple times.
In the year of COVID, I wonder if that's still going on now.
True.
Probably not. A couch probably needs to be
Standing
burned.
up. Just sleep standing up.
Yeah, but I'm all about this. You know, bosses, if you're listening, Christmas is only what?
Yeah, there you go.
8-9 months away. Something to think
Christmas?
about. Hey, that gives them plenty of time to get this
You
in
know,
the budget.
I think that's the perfect Valentine's Day gift for everyone.
Show
would
your
be
love
good.
and appreciation.
for all the
I'd
hard
take
work
a nap
that
pod
we
at
do.
home. It'd be great.
We would never get anything done.
No, never.
We'll be right back. Okay, we have a pop quiz for you. The category is Triad Natives. This Yadkin County native won his first night on Jeopardy last night. The answer, who is Lawrence Long? There he is right there. He is a Forsyth Tech Community College nursing student who appeared on Jeopardy last night for the first time. WFMY News 2's Tanya Rivera had a chance to chat with him about the show and gave her some insight.
Final Jeopardy, I was much more prepared for. I actually have a theory now that the bottom 2 rows in Double Jeopardy are harder, and that they are more difficult because you're competing with people on the buzzer.
I think I would be so worried. That's a high pressure game show. You know, when you're trying to buzz in that fast, and I think I'd be nervous and flop.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I could never do it.
And then afterwards, you're like, oh, I actually knew the answer to that.
Yeah, all the time when you're watching the show, you're like, they should have said, and I'm like, but if I was up there,
Exactly.
It's easy when you're on the couch going, yeah, that's
I'm just
true.
amazed by how much knowledge some of these people have, from pop culture to science to history. They know everything.
I think sometimes too, they just like make really good guesses. Don't you
Sometimes.
think?
Some stuff is super specific. I'm like, how'd you know that?
I just know how they study.
I know.
They're reading Snapple caps. You know, on the cap it has like the trivia.
That's a lot of
No,
stuff.
you know, they actually have all these forums out on some website. I don't know where it is,
Like a
but like
practice?
all
Reddit.
the old questions are on there.
Okay,
They
there's a
study
study
those
guide.
because they apparently repeat questions.
But some of that stuff is still new.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
It was like asking about some shows that I just was watching
Like
on
Insecure.
HBO. Like,
You were
what the
telling me, it was like, what is
Very
Insecure?
true.
I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
All right, well, we're going to do
Lisa
our
Ray.
own trivia, right? So here,
we go.
I'm going to step out of the frame for a minute so I can grab this and bring it over. We made it past Monday, so we need to reward ourselves. We're calling it Trivia Tuesday. We did this before. It was Stacy and Lauren the first go around, so we thought we'd do something a little bit different this time. Lauren's keeping score for us over there to
Oh,
the side.
gosh.
All right, so here's
Okay.
how we do it. This is just Trivial Pursuit cards. And you guys will take turns picking a category. I'll read it. First one to buzz gets a chance, and then if you get it wrong, the next person can go in. So Stacy, just randomly, you pick the first
Okay,
topic.
I'll go with entertainment.
I knew you were going to do that. What fictional mineral was sought by the Sky People in the movie Avatar?
Oh, come on, Stacy.
I can't
Can you
pronounce
repeat
it.
the question?
What fictional mineral was sought by the Sky People in Avatar?
Mineral.
I know the movie.
I know, I've
You want me
seen
to
it
skip?
so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, skip.
All right, Skip. So you get to pick a category.
I'll do
Mo.
geography.
Oh,
gosh.
geography. Oh no, that's my worst.
Mine too.
What U.S. city is home to the La Brea tar pits, which have yielded more than 100 tons of fossils? I actually knew this one.
Utah?
But you have to buzz in. No, it's a city,
That's a
not a
state.
state.
Oh, I thought you said state. Salt Lake City.
It's out west. I'll give you that much.
Okay.
We're gonna skip
Yeah.
This is not
Los
going
Angeles.
good.
Los
Wow.
Angeles. All right, go.
Okay. Arts and literature.
Which is purple. Okay, so what inspirational 1923 bestseller has been translated into more than 40 languages and has never been out of print? Oh, I have heard of this one, but I would not have guessed this correctly.
I'm going to take
If
a
both
guess.
of you want to skip, what is
was
it, Lauren?
Lauren?
Is it Charlotte's Web?
Nope.
What was the question again?
What 1923 inspirational bestseller has been translated into more than 40 languages and has never been out of print? It was The Prophet.
I was
Let's
going to say
go.
something biblical,
You
but.
get to pick one.
Oh.
You gotta ring a bell.
Ding, ding,
I'll
ding.
do science and nature.
Which of the following raw fruits is lowest in calories per 100 grams? I got to give you the choices first. Strawberries, bananas, or blueberries? Now you can ring in.
Blueberries.
I was like
Nope.
banana.
Strawberries.
Wow, we are
right.
so good
That
at
is
this.
it.
You guys are both winners. A for effort.
High five,
That's
Monique.
right. My 2 cents is coming up. We'll be back.
I'm glad I didn't compete today. The Prophet, like.
Never heard of that.
Y'all got 0 questions right.
I know.
Hi there, Alabama, Alaska.
Tough Tuesday.
Hey, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here at the corner of, yeah guys, the shooting took place right here at the corner of Byers Ridge Road.
There's going to be free COVID-19 testing here at the Greensboro.
Hey, mic check, let me clip. We're doing a clip, and now we're doing it.
time for my 2 cents. It's been a little over a week since we heard about Miss USA 2019 Chesley Christ taking her own life. Her mom confirming Chesley was dealing with high-functioning depression. The news still weighing heavy on my heart. I interviewed the former Miss North Carolina and Wake Forest School of Law grad in 2020. She was so intelligent, admirable, and beautiful. We shared a common love for pageants and entertainment news. From the outside, it looked like she had everything she could have wanted. Living in Manhattan, working as a correspondent for Extra, interviewing celebrities like Denzel Washington and Taylor Swift. But we'll never know the struggles she faced on the inside. I too have struggled with anxiety and depression. I'm very thankful for a husband who pushed me to go to therapy, and I've also been on medication for years now. If you're dealing with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, let me be the one to tell you, you are loved. You have a purpose. Your life is worth living. Therapy, medication, a good support system, or even a pet, they're all things that can help. If you've been struggling, let this be a sign it's time to get help. There are always going to be ups and downs in life, but remember, you don't have to go through it alone. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Right now, Greensboro police are searching for whoever shot a teenager waiting at a bus stop.
This happened this morning around 10:30. Kids were out at the bus stops later due to that 2-hour weather delay this morning.
Tonight, WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey is live near the scene with an update on the investigation. Hey, Jalen.